G'day everyone, it's SDS Supercoach providing Supercoach content for you. You can check me out on Twitter at Stephen D.W. Smith and also on Instagram at SDS_Supercoach_YT. Liking and subscribing would be grouse. All right, there's a bit to cover for team selection this week for my video. And, I'm sure for everyone else watching this video, everyone's thinking, geez, what's going on? There's heaps of carnage happening, we had Jack Hayes tear his ACL. We had Brodie Grundy out for 10 weeks. We had Tristan Xerri with a random foot injury who's out for a month. And then what else we got? McCartan got concussed. Hinge could be the sub. And the news we're hearing this morning, George Hewett is out. He is out for this week. And another thing to add, Will Hoskin-Elliott and more importantly, Jordan Ngoe. Remember the tweet, but I don't think they've got an illness, not a COVID illness, but they weren't at training, but they do have an illness. So maybe they're in doubt. So, yeah. Sorry. Just had something stuck in my throat. Just had a bit of Weet-Bix this morning, but yeah, anyway, let's talk a bit more about Supercoach. I'm also in this room. The house is to myself. I knocked off work and I'm home by myself, so I may as well film in the room where I feel like the sound quality for this video is best. Like every time I've done a video in this room, the quality of my voice is a lot better. So I just thought, yeah, let's give it a crack. Anyway, what am I doing? There's a lot to cover, but as we can see, I've got roughly about 4 blokes that aren't going to play. Ignore the George Hewett green tick because he is out. Jack Carroll will make his debut, so hopefully he goes well. Maybe he could be a sneaky option in a couple of weeks for us, but we'll have to wait and see. I was worried that Jack Carroll could have been the sub coming into this week, so there's some good and bad. Maybe Jack Carroll isn't a dead rookie sort of thing because I reckon he could have been the sub. There were rumours about him making his debut. The club didn't confirm it. But here we are. So there is quite a bit of carnage. Now, what did I do? I originally had Hewett in the back line, of course, because I assumed he was going to play. But I did have De Koning as the emergency, just in case. If Hewett was going to be laid out, I've got De Koning there, ready to come. There were some little murmurs that Dacos could be a laid out. I don't really have to worry about that now because so Hewett's just going to go in my midfield. O'Driscoll's down back now, and I'm going to put Rochelle on field because I've traded Hayes, Xerri, and Grundy, and I've brought in Bruce, obviously for nearly 300k. But here's the thing with Bruce: if you haven't got him, he should still be able to make 150k, I reckon, bare minimum. Oh, probably not bare minimum. There's just more question around, if he's going to do anything stupid or get injured. But I've got Sam Hayes here ready to come in if that ever happens. I just think Witts and Hayes together just seemed a bit risky if I had Dixon at R3 sort of structure. So anyway, back to my trade. So Bruce came in, Hayes came in, and Oliver came in, and out came Xerri, Hayes, and Grundy. Ironically, I reckon that's the first time I've ever traded out not just 2 rucks in one round, but 3 rucks. Madness. We never really thought that rucks would be this valuable for Supercoach this year, but here we are. So we've just seen the ruckman carnage. I think there's something like 15, like best 22 ruckman out currently. So it's just crazy at the minute, AFL wise. Now, one thing to consider is that the West Coast ruckman, Luke Strunick, I don't know how to say his name, but he played his first game last week. We'll call him Luke. Luke is, I know his first name, Luke. So he scored a 56. We got Bailey Williams out for a while with a hamstring strain. We don't know how serious it is, but we'll find out, I'm sure, probably next week. But he could be an option, but it's going to be really hard for me to fit him in. So unless Bruce goes down. So yeah, I think he might be one to pass. I think these should be good up until the buys. Then after that round 14 bye, for Melbourne, I'll look to bring in Gawn. I just feel like it's unless I brought him in this week, I feel like it's a bit late. And let's just hope that Gawn's price by heading into round 15 is actually all right. Look, I'm treating Witts as a keeper for the rest of the season, to be honest. But am I happy with it? I mean, we haven't really got many other choices, do we? You know, you got Grundy who's out, Nat Nui's out, Marshall's out for a week, but even then his forward ruck roll's a bit dodgy when Marshall's in the side. And then, and Darcy's just so inconsistently in and out of the side. So, yeah, so I've got 4 players out this week. Let's say Dacos are laid out. I can have DeConning come in. If there's a laid out in the forward line, I don't really have any plan. The murmurs of Dacos being a laid out, could I have looped? I could have looped. But actually, maybe not if Hinge is going to be the sub on Saturday. But I could have maybe had a look at Gibkiss' score as the emergency on the bench. I just don't want to take any risks this week, considering I'm not very good at saying that word. Risks. There you go. Don't want to take any risks this week. So, DeConning, so just in case Dacos is a laid out, DeConning can come in. If there's a laid out in the forward line, I've got no idea. Maybe I'll just swing DeConning with McCartan about if there's... but even then, like, DeConning plays the first game on a Saturday. You know, I'll see a score pretty soon. So, but look, I think there's no one really in the forward line that could be laid outs. There's, if Hewett was selected to play, then obviously he probably would have been a laid out anyway. So at least we know now. So I could make the shift to put O'Driscoll in the back line and then Rochelle on field. And now I'd prefer to trade Rochelle out, but just keep getting all this carnage. And I don't think I could afford to trade out Rochelle because there was some, maybe it could work, but maybe it's because if I kept one of, obviously none of Sherry, Grundy or Hayes could fit with these 3 rucks in there because I wanted Hayes and Bruce in. So ignore the forward line, and then you got ignore the ruck line, but then the forward line, obviously Grundy had to go. But if I kept Hayes or Hayes or Sherry on the bench, I mean, then you've got 5 blokes in the forward line. So unless my maths is stuffed, then, that's obviously an issue. I'll put the emergency. Who could score better out of McDonald and Hobbs? I'm going to go Hobbs. So just in case, I mean, the way this round's going, it wouldn't surprise me if there's a laid out. So Hobbs will come in. I don't really want to take any risks. Now, there's not too much else to cover. I'm just really I'm just letting you know about my side and, what trades you could do. But I'll quickly talk about it could be different for you, but I might talk about what upgrades I'm looking to do, like which premiums I'm looking to bring in for the rest of the season at the minute, like where I stand at the minute, how I want to finish my side. So I just thought I'd go through that. I may as well. I'm here, so give it a crack. So actually, I kind of want to set it out to how it would normally be. So let's just readjust all this. How I'd usually... I think that's... who would I usually have here? I totally forgot. Probably McCartan would be on field and Gibkiss instead. And anyway, let's just leave it like this. So we can obviously tell that I need, before my team's complete. Now, I'm not going to trade Whitfield because I'm better off just finishing my side. Maybe it'll turn good. I don't know. Let's just hope they play him on the wing. He's a real killer on my side, but anyway, is what it is. So I've got 2 defender upgrades to do. I've got 2 midfield upgrades to do. I've got 1 ruckman and I've got 1 forward. Now that's best case scenario. Canelio and or Brody might not finish as keepers. And then, obviously I'm not talking about Whitfield, where if I have a luxury upgrade, I could look to trade Whitfield, obviously, for a better premium. So, so let's just quickly talk about that. So the 2 upgrades I'd look to do in defence would be, I think I thought about this last night. I think it has to be Doherty and Stewart. Those are the 2 that I'm targeting. Tom Stewart, I didn't have him last year. I just feel like he'd be a fun player to own. I mean, obviously there's nothing sexy about him, but I'd probably just need another bloke that's going to consistently get me 100, 110 scores every week, and I'll take that. And that's a really valuable player to own. I feel like I need a bit of consistency. Now, I'm getting it from Hewett. So I'm getting it from Chris recently. Short most of the time I get that from him, Whitfield, whatever. So Stewart, I think, would come in, and I'm leaning towards Doherty. Now, Doherty would be a later upgrade. And also my theory as well is, so if we have a look at my rounds 12 buys, players that aren't playing. So Hewett, Short, Whitfield, and Gibcus. Now, that just shows me that I can't really afford to bring in any defenders with the round 12 buy whatsoever, because that's already loaded as it is. So what could that mean? Well, so that means probably no Jack Sinclair, no Connor Rosie. Who else could there be? Let's have a look at they'll have the buys. Oh, no, never mind, they won't. But yeah, it's like St Kilda, Richmond. I guess we'll find out here. St Kilda, Richmond, GWS, Essendon, Carlton, Port. I think I said all the teams. So I think, look, another one here is Sicily, but I am kind of worried that everyone got him for 447k, 447k, or 500k. If I brought in Sicily maybe next week, and look, to be honest, now that I think of it, like this is probably the one line in my team that I need to upgrade. So that could mean that I might have to bring in a defender as early as next week. Now, I could do it because I don't really want to use a boost every week. I've still got 3 left after this week. But look, if I trade Rochelle, so Rochelle and Hinge, let's say, that leaves me with 655k roughly. Now, if I bring in Dempsey or Curtis, if those blokes, hopefully one of them goes well this week, then you bring in those 2, one of those 2, because it might be more of a choice. Then that should leave me with about, is it like 553k if I brought in Dempsey, and then 500 and whatever. That could be enough for Sicily. And let me just look up Sicily real quick. What's his break even? He's 532k. His break even 70. Right. Actually, scrap that. I might not even be able to afford Sicily next week. I mean, I would look. I definitely need another defender. We got Jake Lloyd, 513k. What's his break even? 122. He just hasn't looked the same this year, has he? Look, that was in a dream world if I could bring in Doherty and Stewart. How about Jordan Dawson? What's he looking at? 530k. That's realistic. 126. He looks like he could go down some more. Now, these blokes are going to finish top 8. They might not. So, which is obviously not good. But you just got to keep upgrading your side, and I feel like, obviously it's not ideal to, bring in probably a top eighth defender, but you know, you got to take what you can get. Lloyd's got the history of it. Sicily's got the history of it, and Dawson doesn't. But if they can bring Hinge back in the damn side, then I think they'll be looking a bit easier, Adelaide. I feel like this video needs to go a bit quicker. I mean, I'm just previewing my side and my future plans and the news anyway. So we'll go over this a bit quicker. Now, my dream 2 more upgrades in the midfield would be, it was Petrarca, but he's dealing with, he left training early on, was it Tuesday? Tuesday, where everyone thought, oh, this bloke's got COVID or whatever. Maybe it was Wednesday. Oh, I can't really remember, but he was actually just a bit sore in the knees. He's had strapping there. So that's just made me a bit wary about, you know, and he's at a ripping price this week. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'd recommend him. I'd recommend you guys to pick him. And the other, but now it's Brayshaw and Keys. Keys would be a real pod. Like, in my opinion, I've got 6 grouse midfielders at the minute. Like, I think my midfield is actually my strong suit at the minute for Supercoach. It's like, I know Tuke's not going very, very well, but I feel like he'll pick it up. Oliver's grouse, Neil's grouse, McRae, Steele, Cripps. I feel like those 5, we'll ignore Tuke for now, but he should still finish top 8. I could have 6 top 8 midfielders for the season. And heading into this year, I did prioritise, you've got to upgrade the midfielders quicker because they're more expensive. So that's certainly a priority. If you've got the money, aim for the midfield because that's where you get your points from. So, yeah, I think Brayshaw and Keys, I can afford to bring in a pod because I've got 6 really highly owned midfielders. Brayshaw's going to be decently highly owned. Then Keys should stay under 10% for the rest of the season. I feel like I'd be surprised if he went over 10% as a pod. Jared Witts. So in the ruck position, I would like it to be Gawn and Witts for now. I feel like when Grundy comes back, he's just going to be less relevant, and everyone should have a finished side by round 16 or 18. Well, I'd definitely like it to be finished, and by then I would have brought in Gawn. So then the forward line. Now, let's say there's one to do. I think English. I still think English. But that depends if Martin is going to be in the side with him, because I'm worried with this hamstring injury, whether, he's not going to be solo ruck because they don't want to risk his hamstring. So maybe that means Martin plays in the ruck and English is down forward again. So it might be one of those things. So anyway, that's just how I'm feeling. In terms of, let's have a look at history. So this is how I've gone this season. So I started out at 55K. Then I went down to 27, 38, 17, 20, 18. It's a bit of an inconsistent sort of thing here, sort of vibe here. So obviously we're going to look to continue to go up. My team value is 12,276,700. That is that's pretty decent. So I feel like I'm in a decent position. Like, I forgot how to do this. It's been a while, but did I see my trades? Oh, I'll trade history. Here we go. I don't get why it's there. So we can have a look at the trades that I've done so far this year. I started out with Sin. He's obviously injured now. Cripps, good trade in, I'd still say. Oh, piss off. Why are you doing that? Yeah, actually, very good trade in. McGovern out, probably a poor starting pick in Sherry. I'm pretty happy with that. Sherry still made us about 125K roughly. Jared Witts for Gawn. Gawn was a bad trade out, but guess what? I feel like Witts was a brilliant trade in. Now imagine the scenes. Now I couldn't predict a PCL by Grundy, but imagine if I traded out Grundy for Witts. Oh, the amount of the many more points I'd have this season. I could have been 10K actually. But I mean, Grundy was looking better heading into round 3. Nick Martin, yeah, he was a must trade in. And then Dylan Stevens still yet to be sighted. I think he's an emergency for this game. O'Driscoll came in. I'm pretty happy with that for Hoff, who doesn't look like he's getting a game anytime soon. O'Driscoll's a good trade in, though. Then last week, Hobbs and Heaney in. Hobbs looks like he's going to be a bit of a bad trade in. Heaney, that's a good, maybe overpaid for him, but he was just killing me in points where I just had to bring him in. And Josh Ward out, probably a good trade out. And Horn Francis, yep. What has he made? Another 6K. And then, yeah, those are my 3 trades heading into this round. Oliver, Bruce, and Hayes, Grundy, Sherry, and Hayes out. So, yeah, I think they'll just about do me. I feel like this video has been long enough. So, yep, there's my ranks. So, I will see you guys in the team update. Well, sorry, team update. The round review for round 7. Let's hope that we can climb up in the ranks once again. The main thing is just going up each week. That's the goal. And I feel like these trades, I feel like I'm a bit more with the pack again. My only problem with my team is, though, I feel like it's very mainstream. It's very mainstreamy. So I feel like I need something to... Now, that could have been a Connor Rosie. I don't trust him at the minute. Like, you know, Rosie, of course, is a talented player, but I just feel like we're too early in the season to be making those moves. Like, it could be something that I would make in, like, you know, if I need an F6, hey, let's go for it. I've got the money. We might as well give it a crack. But I feel like we're a bit too early in the season to be making these really risky value picks. Now, to be fair, value picks have been the way for this season. You know, if you went value over, you know, playing it safe, then obviously you probably got a higher rank than me. So it's that sort of thing. But yeah, let's just hope we can keep building up the ranks. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the round review on, probably Sunday night. Cheers.